Hello, this is Jack from tofluency.com along with Kate. And today we're going to talk about, well, you introduced the topic today.
Yes. So today's topic is going to be one that I came up with. It's online shopping.
Online shopping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've made a list of a few different topics around this where we're going to talk about a couple of my recent orders, the trend in online shopping, and also things like meal delivery services too. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Before we get started too much, I had these on, but there was a little bit too much glare. This is where the conversation came from. These are my new glasses. Mm-hmm. I ordered them online. I just picked out the style, uploaded my subscription, and a week later I had some glasses.
Oh, your prescription.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not subscription.
Yeah.
Prescription.
So, yeah, glasses prescription is basically telling how strong you need them, what kind of lenses to make. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's an interesting place to start because if you think back 10 years, the thought of getting glasses online.
Yeah.
Because when online shopping started, people thought, okay, it's going to be for items that you don't need to try on. Mm-hmm. But companies have got around this by allowing you to try things on for free, as long as you give them your credit card details. So just today, I'm going to get some new glasses. So I've ordered 5 pairs, and they're going to deliver these to our house. I'm going to try them on, choose my favorite one, send them all back, and then they'll put the right lenses in. Mm-hmm. But I think that's a good example of something that you just never thought was going to happen.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, all sorts of things. Like we bought a mattress online a few years ago.
They had an amazing refund policy.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember?
Yeah. So they took all the risk out. So you could get the mattress, and then if you didn't like it, you could return it. Mm-hmm. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Or donate it.
No, you could donate it to charity, and you get your money back.
Yep.
I wonder if they still do that.
I think so. I think that's a pretty key part of their model because you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars, or even now, a larger mattress is $1,000, give or take.
Yeah.
And not know if you'll like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, do you do a lot of online shopping?
Do you?
We both do, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
And it's just become such a convenience now with fast shipping times, refund policies. I think I might have mentioned this before, but one of my New Year's resolutions for 2020 was not to go to the grocery store more than 5 times a year because I got used to grocery shopping online and getting it delivered. And then the coronavirus hit and everyone was online shopping anyway, and you couldn't get any times available.
Yeah. So you were ahead of the curve, but then the curve
did something incredible. Yeah, so there's so many things you can get online now, but I think we need to talk about the one website that's really taken over here in the US. Mm-hmm. Probably, I think, in the UK and other parts of Europe.
I think in the world.
Really. In the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, that's a great question for today. Is Amazon.com popular where you live, and do you use this website to buy things online? I remember this started out by just having books, right? Mm-hmm. So it was an online bookstore.
It was.
And do you remember one of their tactics to increase their customer base?
I don't.
So I think it was the bookstore Borders, which used to be very popular.
Yes.
And they said to Borders, okay, we can ship your books around the US for a very low price if we get the customer data. And Borders said, yes, that sounds amazing. And they thought, I think this is right. I'll leave a link to an article about this so you can read about it. And Borders thought, yeah, this is great. We're getting a great deal because Amazon's taking care of all this for us. But little by little, that customer list went to Amazon. Amazon sent them emails, follow-ups. Then people were buying from the Amazon store.
That makes sense.
Amazon have done stuff like that all the time. But I was thinking about Amazon as well because there's a pushback against it because it's a big store. It takes over and it's killing independent stores, independent bookstores. But I was thinking about this because we also know people who create stuff and they use Amazon and they love Amazon to sell their items around the country.
Yeah.
So it also supports people who want to use a fully integrated logistical system to sell stuff and deliver stuff online.
Yeah. We have a few friends who have opened Amazon stores selling various things. Some of them have broken even. Some of them have been really successful with it. A few people have not, but it is definitely a force to be reckoned with, especially after last year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Last year, well, I mean, we know people in our neighborhood and ourselves, when everyone was stuck at home, people ordered things that maybe they didn't need, we didn't need, but thinking if we're going to be at home all this time, then let's make it fun. Let's make it exciting and have good stuff to do.
Yeah. What was one example of that?
Like, well, we know people who got hot tubs, swimming pools, or, you know, we got a little paddling pool.
I think that actually was from beforehand.
Oh, paddling
But
pool.
I did get a lot of books.
Yeah. You got chickens in the chicken coop.
I did, but I did not get those from Amazon.
No, but you got it online, right?
I did.
Yeah. So everyone was buying things online, and then there was a shortage of certain items too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amazon's definitely taken over here, and people have that. I don't want to use it because it's such a big company and it is taking over, but the convenience seems to win out. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Online shopping. So in the past, it used to be books. We used to buy books online. Also, Netflix just used to be DVDs delivery, right?
Yes, I remember you got to order, was it 5?
Yeah.
I think 5 sticks in my head as a number, and they would come and you could watch the DVDs and then return them.
Instead of going to your local store.
Yes.
And getting the DVDs from there. So there is this move towards people buying things at home online and it getting delivered. So Amazon's taking over. I've just bought a new cap, which I'm very excited about.
You're probably going to get to see this cap because I think once it arrives, well, either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
But if you love it, I don't think you're going to take it off.
I'll join Instagram or go to Fluency on Instagram. And then you can see the new cap once it arrives.
It's something else.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's very, very bold stylishly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was something that I wanted to treat myself. And that's the one thing. But it was more expensive than I'm willing to spend. But you were laughing a little bit because in terms of, you know, the overall price, it's...
Well, for how much you wanted this hat and how... So, can I say the price of it?
No.
Or no?
No,
Okay.
they'll have to go on Instagram to find out.
For the price of the hat, you have been agonizing about this for weeks.
I wouldn't say agonizing.
I would say agonizing.
I just wanted it.
Sometimes I see you looking at your phone
They
and
keep
it's that
targeting
hat.
me on Instagram. You
Well,
know,
that's the other thing.
Yes.
Instagram shopping.
Yeah. Instagram shopping's become very popular now. Yeah. So this is where you get targeted with ads for certain things. And for example, I'll buy a shirt like this or look up a shirt like this. And then suddenly every other ad is, hey, what about this shirt? What about this shirt? From all different companies. Not just the company I was looking at.
You know what I find really annoying?
Go on.
Have you ever been looking for something for a really long time? You finally decide to buy it. You pull the trigger, so you actually buy it online.
Pull the trigger. That's a good one.
And then you keep on seeing ad after ad after ad for that same thing, only better and less expensive and better reviewed and it'll come faster, and you just,
Yeah.
it's really frustrating.
But you can't win it all, win them
No.
all. But yeah, I mean, it's not like we buy too much on that. We go through phases, don't we? Really.
Yeah.
Like I'll go through a phase in spring when I get my summer clothes out and think, I didn't really wear that last year. I didn't wear this. I didn't wear that, and I'll donate those clothes and maybe buy 3 or 4 new T-shirts for the year. But I do have a little bit of a problem at the moment with something.
What?
Books.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's a meme, isn't there, that I showed you?
Yeah.
Where the person's looking at, or the woman is looking at the guy to say, like, all the books that I've bought recently, and then a guy, and not read. And then the guy's looking at, oh, new book.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's called like your to be read pile.
Yeah. I've got a big pile, and the big, thick books.
I know.
And the hard books to read.
They're like college books or classics.
You can
so, yeah.
But I'm using thrift books for that.
Well, I've always had a book. I'm just
leave
gonna
it
let
down.
that go. I've always had a lot of books and had a really hard time getting rid of books.
Yes. And I go through phases as well, thinking I should get digital books because they don't take up space and it's more minimalist, but trying to reduce screen time, therefore. And I prefer a proper book to read rather than a digital one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got really hooked on digital books though, especially when the kids were little. And they would fall asleep in my lap and I couldn't really move, or I was taking care of them. And so it was so easy to pull out my phone and pull up a book
It wasn't
and just
easy.
scroll like this.
Because with our first child, you only had a laptop.
That's true.
We didn't have phones.
Oh my gosh, did I read on my laptop?
Yes.
I read on my laptop.
Do you remember?
So I must have been like balancing my laptop and Thomas, and
because we got a phone when I think Thomas was about 1, because we just put it off and put it off.
Yeah,
because
we
knew
want
this
it.
world was.
We knew it was going to take over, and it has.
Yeah, and that's a
us.
podcast episode you can listen to. I'll leave a link in the description where I talk about social media and phones and how they've taken over. And there's no going back. There's no going back now.
I don't know. That's a little bit. I mean, there's no completely going back, but I think that there's a way to get some more healthy boundaries around using
but the trend is going to be more and more like phones, wearables, voice, everything else. Face recognition.
Anyway. I talked to someone today who gave me a phone number, and she wrote it down on a scrap of paper because she didn't have a smartphone.
Oh, really?
And that is so uncommon where we are.
Well, it was uncommon when we didn't have them.
Yeah, like
everyone couldn't believe. No one could. Everyone had a
6 years
smartphone.
ago.
And we didn't, did we?
Yeah, and then we were so busy, I didn't know how to use my. I was teaching 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds, and I would make videos of their class presentations or assignments, and they would have to show me how to use my phone. They told me, like, you can rotate your phone, and I had no idea.
Yeah. So anyway, the books I'm getting at the moment are from thrift books, which are secondhand, which I feel better about. I'm trying also clothes. I tried to get them from eBay secondhand too.
I try to buy secondhand clothes.
Yeah, especially because then that's the thing, isn't it? Because with clothes shopping, ordering online, you don't know if it's going to fit you. And I think they know that a certain percentage of people or a certain percentage of orders won't come back because people miss the date. Mainly us two. Yeah. We're not good at sending things back, are we?
Not at all.
But with eBay, if you know your size, you know the item, then you can go on eBay and save 50%. True. Yeah. And then I want to talk about meal delivery services, because I would never have thought that this would have happened, where you just get food delivered to your door.
Yeah.
We use a local company now, And
called Mother Earth Produce.
yeah, if you're in the Asheville area. And they deliver from local produce companies and different, like you can get milk, you can get other things, but mainly vegetables at the moment. But there's also nationwide ones that are now doing very, very well. Meal delivery is huge. And also just ordering from a restaurant on an app is so popular now.
Oh, yeah. And people have kind of like, there's a personal shopper. Do you know what I'm talking about?
For clothes?
People, or for groceries.
For groceries? Oh,
well.
yeah. That's
so
massive.
When you, that
It's
didn't,
unbelievable.
that was very rare before last year.
That's what I was using. And it used to be my little secret.
I personally like the experience of going grocery shopping. I like to look at the tomatoes. I like to smell them. I like to, I mean, not too much, but you know, enough. Waft them, you know, pick them up and look at them, find the best ones.
No wonder it takes so long.
I know. I go into the grocery store and it's like I'm going into like hunting and gathering mode. Like I'm completely in the zone.
Oh, yeah. I think we're different there because I just like to know what I want, have the list already done and just go da-da-da-da-da-da. It takes like 3 minutes.
That's
and
nice.
then it is nice. Yeah.
I don't know. I have like a map of the grocery store in my head though. And so, you know, I could probably go grocery shopping in my sleep. Except Trader Joe's changes it up a lot.
Do they? Oh, they do quite often, don't they? I don't like it when they change it up.
I've started to crave that excitement. I used to highly dislike it. And they would have a new...
Crave that excitement.
I know. I'm also a little bit addicted to Trader Joe's, the grocery store.
Yeah.
I used to resist it. They would come out with like, they would take away my favorite pasta, for example, and put out a new one. And I would be so disappointed and upset. But now I'm like, oh, what kind of pasta do we have now? Like, I get really excited about that.
Yeah. Good. Well, yeah, I prefer just to do it online and then also get the meat from the local farm here. And I used to like going to the store, but now they're doing the whole wait in your car, do the order the day before, and they'll just put it in your trunk. But you have to go to and they do delivery too. Yeah. Go on, you've got something.
Well, I have a question because one thing about online shopping are subscriptions. So a lot of times when you are buying something, you're not just buying one item. A very common business model for online shopping is that the stores have you get a subscription where every single month or week or after a period of time, maybe a season, you get a new item delivered.
Yeah, they're doing this wine clubs are really popular now. Yeah, our friend just started one, so check it out in the description. We'll leave a link to it. And they do other things too. What?
I just realized.
It's fine. It's fine. So the wine clubs, subscription it's for everything, like meat. There's a big one for meat as well. I think it's called Butcher Box. There is, you could go on, couldn't you? I'm struggling for examples.
Okay. So there's anything that you want. There's Book of the Month Club. There's tea. There's chocolate, coffee. And just buying clubs. A product. Like if you buy it through a store, a lot of times they'll have it in as an automatic recurring payment. Yeah. For a while, I was trying not a sleeping pill, but like a vitamin for sleeping. And so they put me on a monthly subscription.
Oh yeah. They're expensive too, aren't they?
Most of the things, like, they really sell you on the product. You really believe in the product. They do have really good marketing. You see somebody on Instagram and they're so happy. Yeah. They're endorsing it and you click subscribe. Yeah. And then 6 months later, you have to try to figure out how to unsubscribe.
Yeah, I got rid of a lot of subscriptions recently. And it's also happening with apps as well. So entertainment apps, streaming services. It used to be just either you watch cable or satellite. What do you call it here? Satellite too?
I guess so.
Yeah. And then Netflix was your streaming one. That was your new one. And then Amazon Prime, now Disney Plus. And everyone's doing it. HBO. Yeah. So many of them are just coming in now. And then the issue, and again, YouTube TV and different ones came in where you didn't have to have cable. And cable used to be, or it still is around like between $80 and $120. And then you had these ones coming like, we're 30, choose which ones you want. Like, we're going to put our prices up next month to 40. Yeah, oh, well, it's still cheaper. And then YouTube TV is like 65, 70 now.
A month?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
That's why I cancelled it.
How much are Netflix or Amazon right
well,
now?
Netflix did the same as well. So Netflix went from, I think it was 10 to 15, then to 20 for the one we were using. But then I got on the lower service. Yeah, I feel like we're doing our admin here.
I know. We're like, we're having a conversation about all the subscriptions that we need to cancel.
But yeah, you talk to other families too, and they're saying, yeah, we're on all these subscriptions. And this is the thing. It's just everything is subscription based, and they try and get you in, and people think, oh, I've got to do it. And it just becomes expensive. And you can probably get rid of it all.
I think we're always looking for shortcuts as people, looking for things to be easier. And, you know, and I think that's the appeal of getting subscriptions or these services. But it kind of takes away from the spontaneous feel of things, you know?
Oh, it
and you
does.
don't think about every purchase. You don't really, like, you know, choose what movie to watch, for example. You're just like, oh, something.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the other thing. If I'm online food shopping and something's on offer, I will get 10 of it, whatever it is.
That's
for example.
probably smart.
But then I go to the shop and when I'm there, putting 10 in your cart just feels a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
I know. I always like, so probably my biggest vice.
Sorry, I'll just say I would never go to a store and spend that much money on a cap. Seriously though, I would never go to a store, see a cap and think, I'm going to buy that for that price.
Oh man, when you see it, it'll be like, oh.
Yeah, it better change my life.
I mean, I think it's definitely going to change your life. Hopefully in a positive way.
Yeah, maybe it'll just send me into a different personality and...
There you go.
Yeah, negatively.
The cat that turns Jack evil.
I'm going to annoy everybody. Be like flashing these out, you know. What's up, bro? What's up, bro?
Not much, bro. Nice hat.
Yeah. But just to go back to meal delivery, we enjoyed that this time last year, didn't we? Mm-hmm. That was pretty good.
I think I might mention that in the last.
Too. Yeah. No, you were getting the meal delivery and I didn't want it. Mm-hmm. But then you ended up cooking most evenings, so I was happy about that. And it turned out fine.
But the problem was that I was a little stressed out last year. Mm-hmm. Everything was shutting down. I didn't know what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody did, right?
Yeah.
And so when I got the meal delivery service, I didn't get just one.
That's true.
I got like several.
Yeah.
And
we had all those veggies too.
Yeah, and I also had subscribed to Mother Earth, which we still love and use, but also like a different vegetable subscription. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
I also
bad.
got like 350 pounds of meat.
Yep. Which
was amazing. It was on super sale because what happened was because all the restaurants closed down, the local farms lost all their orders. So they said, look, we've got all this meat that we have to get rid of. It's 60, 70% off.
Yeah.
I was like, and it was the same with beer, all delivered.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
it
was 25 cents a can.
Yeah, and for like really...
Free delivery.
Really, good craft beer.
Oh, yeah, local craft beer.
And, they just been in production and had all of these cases and cases and cases of beer.
Again, because restaurants closed down. So, yeah. I think we did quite well at that time, actually.
I mean, it was a strange time, but there were some silver linings to it.
Yeah. But I think, a good summary here is that subscriptions and online shopping, and it's obviously like we have some type of disposable income to afford that kind of thing. But at the same time, it can take over, and before you know, it's like a creep. And it's not just us. I know other people talk about this all the time, but it seems like there is this trend now toward just as a little bit of a tangent, but I remember reading that a lot of millennials weren't getting cars because their expenses now are other things, where the mobile phone is like $100 a month, then internet service.
So they can't afford cars, or it's not part of the lifestyle? It's
in terms of if they can afford it. No, it's not a priority over the other stuff that they would have to budget for.
Oh yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does.
And obviously people are living in cities where they can get around, which is my latest podcast episode.
Oh yeah.
Talks about sidewalks and lack of sidewalks in the US.
We used to not have a car.
No. I loved walking everywhere. This is what I was saying. That's what I miss. You walk everywhere. In Spain, when we were taking groceries up 7 flights of stairs, and water, because you couldn't drink the tap water.
Oh yeah.
Or at least people said we couldn't.
I mean, I trust them.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody says don't drink the water, I think it's usually a good policy.
But I remember what I told you, that when we came on holiday to the US, everyone in the UK said don't drink their water.
They did.
Yeah.
Why?
Because, they said it's just not good for you. It's bad. It's the same. I think every country I've been to on holiday, it's like, oh, don't drink their water. It's bad water. Spain was one.
I mean, but that
France,
was Spanish people were
the
telling
US.
us that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say don't drink the water.
The tap water. Yeah.
Is that because
a lot of people
of the
get
fluoride?
I don't. Well, back in the day, probably not. But now it's probably a good reason not to.
I think fluoride has been a part of city water for that long. Maybe that's what people were
Yeah, because I don't think they put that in the UK water.
They put fluoride, which is a mineral that like strengthens your teeth, but in excess can have negative.
Well, and also we're not going to talk about it here, but I prefer if they didn't put fluoride in the water. Yeah. But online shopping, I'll get my new cap, my new glasses, and I'll do a nice little Instagram post for you all.
Your accent sounds particularly strong today.
Does it? It's because I just had a coffee.
It might be your cap too.
Oh yeah. I gave up coffee this time last year. And I have succumbed to the caffeine again, and I feel so much better.
No, don't go back.
Two cups a day maximum. Won't have any more.
No, it was a half a cup this time last week.
But when you make coffee in the morning, you refuse to make me like a decaf or a half calf. So depends. Because when I wake up and I make the half calf, then you always say, like at work, wait a minute. Why am I still tired?
Why am I still asleep?
Cool, but we'll end it there.
Okay.
Yes, if you're here on YouTube, this is both on YouTube and the podcast on Apple. I know.
What?
So like talking to people at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So if you're on YouTube, then check out, or if you're anywhere, check out the description, because I'll have links for you, and we'll see if we can leave some key phrases for you there as well. But we'll have links to the story about Amazon and that whole how they took over, links to our friend's subscription, and some other things in Asheville, some more Asheville Tea Company.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm also I hope that we weren't speaking too quickly this time. We've clearly had a lot
People
of
like
coffee and done a lot of online shopping, so we're really energized.
Yeah, and we don't spend that much time together, so we're kind of excited about it.
Did you buy the cap?
Yeah.
When's it coming?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
can I do a Kate's question?
yeah, do a
All
Kate's
right.
question.
So my question is, if you shop online, what makes you want to buy something?
And yeah, think about if advertising works on you.
Well, that's kind of my question. Like, what makes you buy online? What do you buy online, if anything?
And yeah, and we asked a question before about Amazon as well.
Oh yeah.
So you can link it together. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts or other podcast ones, then subscribe as well. You can subscribe. Leave a positive review as well if you have the time to do so. Kate, have you done that yet on your podcast app?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Okay, well, Kate needs to go on it as well. But yeah, and share it with a friend. Just share this episode with a friend, and we look forward to reading your comments. All right. Thank you for being here. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.